Okay, guys, good morning, children. Welcome to school. This will be the first of a series of video lessons that I will post on YouTube in order to help you complete the project that I have posted on Google Classroom. Now, this is a skill, a trigonometric skill that we have introduced in the fall semester of pre-calc. You should see it in geometry, however, it is kind of like the beginning of our class. However, some of the students in the class weren't included for that section, so I think it's a nice topic to revisit, and it's also, again, a skill that you need in order to complete the project. So we will go ahead and continue. Okay, so I made a little color coding already. Essentially what the law of sine says is that every angle inside the triangle, it has the corresponding matching side. So for example, that one, angle A, has the corresponding side. Angle B, sorry, that should be a blue. Angle B has that corresponding side, and angle C has this corresponding side. Okay, and so now it says that the ratio of the sine of the angles over the corresponding side is congruent or equivalent for all three sides. So we're looking at ratios, right? Sine of A, sine of B, sine of C. Okay, and it doesn't really matter whether you're using radians or degrees. It's really up to you. However, you need to make sure that if you are using radians, that means you're also setting up the other ratio using radians. And similarly for C, you would do the same thing. Okay, so that's something to be careful with. Okay, so what I plan to do is maybe run through one example using the law of sines, right? So the first thing I want to do is make sure that I have all my angles in this diagram. Okay, so for example, I know that these two angles are complementary. That means they equal 90 degrees. Therefore, the angle inside is going to be 48. So this angle right here, and forgive me, I am using my finger to write the numbers. So that's a 48. Let me go ahead. Okay. And this one right here is going to be 90 plus 15. Angle B is going to be 105. Okay. And this specific question is asking us for the distance from A to F. So it's asking us for this side. Okay. However, we were given one of the sides right here, and I'm going to go ahead and circle that. It is 110, and we're asked to find this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am missing this angle right here, this angle F. So I'm going to go ahead and find it. So 105 plus 48 is going to be 153. And I'm going to need 27 more degrees to make sure that I have 180 degrees inside the triangle. So that's a 27. And I'm working with degrees everywhere, so make sure you specify that. Okay, so now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do sine of 27, right? And then I'm going to set up my ratio 110. 110 because the angle, the side that corresponds to that angle is 110. Okay. Secondly, I have angle B, right? So I'm going to use angle B, sine of 105 over x, right? So all you gotta do now is basically cross multiply. Okay, so you're going to do this and this, and I'm going to allow you to work that on your own. I think everybody should be able to cross multiply. So, but I'm going to use this trick. I'm going to say that x is going to be sine of 105 times 110 over the sine of 27. Okay, so you punch that into your calculator and you're going to get x equals that whatever that distance is. Okay, so I'm going to allow you to calculate that on your own. I think that's pretty straightforward, but that is essentially how you set up ratios for the law of sines. Let's go ahead and work on another problem using the law of sines. Okay, so in this case we have this line right here, and they told us that this angle is 50. Therefore, this angle right here has to be 130. Okay, and we know that is 130 plus 20, that is 150. So this has to be 30. Okay, and I am working with degrees everywhere. Now, this one is saying that a ski lift begins at ground level, 0.75 miles from the base. So this means that this distance is going to be 0.75 miles and has an angle of elevation of 50, which they already gave us, and we already determined that the supplementary angle is going to be 130. The ski lift ascends in a straight line at an angle of 20. Okay, we know that. Find the length of the ski lift from the beginning of the ski lift to the top of the mountain. So essentially what they're asking is for the distance right there. We're going to label that as x. Okay, so now we're going to do the sine of 130, and the corresponding side to that angle is our missing side, so over x. And we also know sine of 30. The corresponding side to that angle is going to be 0.75. And again, you're going to go ahead and cross multiply, but I will allow you to do that. However, you will end up with something like this. X equals sine of 130 times 0.75, okay, times over the sine of 30. Okay, so if you cross multiply, this is what you're going to get. Now I will allow you to punch that into your calculator and obtain the corresponding result. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this. This is going to be part A of the video lesson. Part B is going to deal with the law of cosine. So make sure you watch this one and also tune in for the second part.